Hello guys, this is Simon. I'm coming to you with my Gladiator Beast deck. Gladiator Beasts are my favorite deck. They always have been since I've been playing the game. And I've recently come back and have seen some new cards. So that's also the reason why I actually came back to Yu-Gi-Oh! I'd like to show you my deck, ask for suggestions, comments, and then I'll try to show you also how to play Gladiator Beast. My deck has 43 cards, so I'll start with the monsters. We have 23, and all the GB monsters have the same effect, which is when they're attacked or attack and survive the battle, they can return themselves to the deck at the end of battle phase, and then special summon another GB monster from the deck. And then their effects activates. So when Augustus is tagged in, he can special summon a GB monster from your hand in defense position to your side of the field. Then we have Vespasius, one of Vespasius. He's a pretty neat monster, and his effect is when a Gladiator Beast monster is attacked or attacks, you can special summon him to your side of the field. Then all monsters get a 500 attack bonus, not only GB monsters. Then we have one Noxious. I like Noxious very much. Let's say when you're directly attacked, you can special summon him to your side of the field, and then Noxious blocks the attack, and then he cannot be destroyed by that battle. And when he's special summoned by a GB effect, including his own, he can ditch a monster from the deck to the grave. And then he has the tag out effect. Then we have one Darius. When he's tagged in, he can special summon a GB monster from the grave to your side of the field. Equest, when he's tagged in, he can return one GB card from the grave to your hand. Bestiary, when he's tagged in, you must destroy one spell trap on the field. A Torix, when she's tagged in, you can make her have the same name and level as a monster that you can ditch either from your main deck or your extra deck, and we want to make her level 5 or higher. Then we have 3 Andals. The only reason I play Andal is because there are cards which make him pretty good. For example, 3 Rescue Rabbits. With Rescue Rabbit, we can use Rescue Rabbit, Banisher, and then get 2 Andals, which basically means a free Test Panther. That's the reason we're running Andal. Then we have 2 Test Tigers. Test Tiger is also pretty nice. Not so much for his own effect these days, but because he's a free special summon when you have a Gladiator Beast monster on your field, which means you can easily make a Test Panther or another Link Place. But his main effect is actually he can tribute himself and then return a GB monster and then summon a GB monster. You can return the same monster and special summon the same monster back to trigger its effect. Then we have Barry's Statue of Soulmates, because we're playing Seymour Bird of Sovereignty in the extra deck, and for that we also have Miss Valley Apex Avian, which is an Omni Negate, and Gladiator Beast Love Negate. Then we have the staple Ash Blossom. She is also very painful for our deck. For example, if Rescue Rabbit is Ash Blossomed, that's pretty painful, because we've just lost the normal summon and we've lost its effect. The only thing that we can do often is end the turn. And she's also painful when used against Test Panther. For the last 2 monsters, I'm maining 2 Gameciel. I love them actually, because you can get rid of a lot of high attack monsters and negate and omni negate monsters and that kind of stuff, like Dragoon or other high-end monsters. It's a very easy to get rid of them. That's why I'm citing it, and I'm actually pretty happy in how it's been working out. So that's 23 monsters. Then we move to the spell cards. We're running 3 Proving Ground. With Proving Ground you can get one level 4 or lower GB monster from the deck to your hand, and usually we want to get Andal, Atorix or Bestiari. Then we have the best spell card in the deck, 3 of Gladiator Beast Comeback. And Comeback says that you can special summon 1 GB monster either from your grave or from your hand, which has a different type than monsters you control. And the additional effect is that the monster special summoned with this effect cannot be destroyed by battle, which actually means even in the worst case scenario you can special summon any kind of Gladiator Beast except the vanilla Andal. You can attack into a monster and then use its tag out effect at the end of battle phase because it cannot be destroyed by battle. But we use Comeback for another reasons, especially in special summoning back Tamer Editor and using its effect over and over again. Then we have 2 Rejection. Rejection is a pretty nice spell card, a new one. It actually says that your Gladiator Beast monsters cannot be targeted with card effects except in the battle phase, which I don't always appreciate, but when I see my opponents I feel their pain when they cannot target my Gladiator Beast monsters in the main phase. And his second effect is why we use him, and that's when a Gladiator Beast monster is special summoned from the deck, we can special summon a Gladiator Beast which has another type from the deck. So for example, if let's say Augustus is special summoned from the deck, we can trigger the effect of Rejection to special summon Vespasius, which is a Sea Serpent, for example, and that's an easy Tamer Editor. So that's why we run 2 of them. Then we have 3 Unexpected Die, and the only targets for Unexpected Die are the 3 Andals. I've struggled running 3 Unexpected Die, but I actually like it. I've struggled only because there are 3 targets, but we cannot forget that the Andals, we can recycle them, we can get them back to the deck because we use Darius, for example, we use the effect of Test Panther to return Andal to the deck, and so on. So it's actually not painful to run 3 Unexpected Die. Then I run 1 Fusion Deployment. I'm still testing this card out, and it's basically you can reveal 1 fusion monster, and our targets are Domatanus, Andabata or Gizaros, and then special summon the material listed there from the deck. In the ideal situation, I want to have a Gladiator Rejection and then activate Fusion Deployment, get Augustus, and then activate the effect of Rejection to get Vespasius. And that means that's an easy Tamer Editor, which is one of the main things we're trying to achieve in the deck. The only downside of this card is that it locks us into a Fusion Summon, which means the turn we activate this card we cannot link summon. And then we have the standard Called by the Grave, because we hate Ash Blossom. Then we have Mind Control, which is pretty nice in connection with Link Summoning and with Test Panther. Test Panther requires 1 GB monster and 1 another monster, which is why we're running Mind Control, because if I have a GB monster and my opponent has another monster which is annoying me, I can just use it and then link these 2 into a Test Panther, for example. Then we have 1 Raigeki, because I hate monsters. We have one Dark Ruler no more because we hate negate boards. One Monster Reborn to revive Tamer Editor back, for example, and one Legacy Succession also to revive Tamer Editor back or something else. For the last two cards, these are 18 spell cards. For the last two cards, we're running one Heavy Storm Duster and one Evenly Matched. Heavy Storm Duster because I don't have Harpy's Feather Duster, and Evenly Matched because it actually works pretty well with Gladiator Beasts. I'll show you how it works. Let's say you have one Gladiator Beast monster. Let's take Augustus, and your opponent has a lot of monsters, and you attack Augustus and he survives the battle. You activate the effect of Augustus so that it goes back to the deck to bring another Gladiator Beast monster. That's Chainlink 1. And then you can activate from your hand as Chainlink 2 Evenly Matched, which will now force your opponent to banish all their field except one card. And after this card resolves, you're still getting a GB monster with the effect of Augustus. That's it for the main deck. Now we move to the extra deck. In the extra deck I'm running one Link Spider because we have Andal. One of the most annoying things is opening with two Andals. That's not a problem because we can simply go and normal summon Andal, link it for Link Spider, special summon another Andal from the hand, and then link these two for Test Panther and go from there to our play. Which brings us also to the second Link monster we're running, and that's Test Panther, which is the best Link monster we're running. Test Panther, when he requires one Gladiator Beast monster and one another monster, whatever it may be. And when he's Link summoned, he can get us one Gladiator Beast card from the deck to the hand. Usually that will be Comeback, which is one of the best cards in the deck. And then he has another effect, which is he can return one GB monster from your side of the field to the deck and special summon another GB monster from the deck, which triggers that effect. Then we're running Crush Ship because when we're recycling Tamer Editor back with Comeback or Monster Reborn, we want to use Crush Ship to get additional monsters. Then we're running Seamog Bird of Sovereignty because we can make it with Bestiary, Equest, or the two Augustus that we have, and then we can make more negates with Apex Avian or with Barrier Statue. And a lot of Gladiator Beast monsters are Wing Beasts, and this gives you additional protection that your Wing Beast monsters, which he points to, cannot be targeted. Then we have one Appaloosa because we like negates. We have one Unchained Abomination because he's a very good attack and a decent effect, which pops a card at the end of each end phase. And in addition, if your monster destroys another monster, that's another pop. If a card is destroyed by an effect, that's another pop, and we can combine it with Gizaurs, for example. And then we're running two of the main boss, which is Tamer Editor, and Tamer Editor requires two GB monsters level 5 or higher, and you tag him out, you bring him out, and his effect is that you can special summon a GB fusion monster from the extra deck, ignoring summoning conditions, and he's not once per turn. So if you manage to summon another one, that you can activate it. If you manage to send it to the graveyard and then revive it back, you can activate his effect again and again. Then we have two Domtanus. Domtanus is 3500 beat stick. He can negate a monster effect once per turn and destroy it. And one of the most neglected effects is that he can determine which monster your opponent attacks, which is the effect most people don't read. And when I play online, that's the point when people just quit, because they were not careful enough to read that I can determine which monster they will attack. And they will summon something like 1500 attack monster and then try to attack Test Panther, for example. And they don't realize, no, I'm the one controlling the battle, and then bump into this big guy. Then we're running Andabata, and mainly as a target for fusion deployment, but his effect is also pretty nice, especially for the following combo. I'll try to show you. Let's say you have Andal engrave, which is pretty expected. You have Darius in hand, and you're gonna tag in Augustus. At this point, you will special summon Augustus, activates his effect, special summon Darius, get Andal back, and you can from here you can either go for a link summon or something, but our main objective is to go to Tamer Editor. But this, we can't go into Tamer Editor with this because these are level 4s. What we can do is tag these 3 out, send them back to the deck, get Andabata on the field. His effect is when he's special summoned, he can get a level 7 or lower Gladiator Beast fusion from the deck, from the extra deck. So we bring Gizaros, which is a level 6. When Gizaros is special summoned, he can pop up to 2 cards on the field. So we get him, pop 2 cards, then tag these 2 out and get Tamer Editor. Just pretty awesome. So we've already explained Gizaros, which is one of the OG monsters from the old days, and he requires Bestiari and another Gladiator Beast monster, but that's not usually the way that we summon him. We usually want to get him via Tamer Editor or Andabata. Then we have Gladiator Beast Neurochius. Neurochius is pretty nice, but I don't actually use him that much. He's a 2800 beast deck. He cannot be destroyed by battle, but what makes him very nice is that when he's attacked or attacks, he can tag out and bring 2 Gladiator Beast monsters from the deck. For example, Domatanus brings only 1 Gladiator Beast monster. And an additional effect is that when Neurochius attacks, your opponent cannot activate card effects. So a lot of cards, including monsters that destroy in the graveyard and activate their effects, do not activate. And the last card is the OG Heraklinos, which is a 3000 beast deck, and his effect is that he can negate a spell trap card for every time you ditch 1 card from your hand. It's not once per turn. If your opponent activates a spell trap card, you can ditch 1 card, negate it, and so on. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Now let's move to the test hands. Okay. Having now shuffled, let us go first and let's see what we can do with the hand that we get. We open with that's a hand that you cannot do that much with. I'd usually go for evenly matched and maybe only evenly matched, or a barrier statue. If you don't summon any monster, then you can count on Noxious saving you. So we'll try again. Let's see if our luck is better this time. No, we bricked again. How about this time? Okay, that's pretty okay. So this is actually minimal. At the minimal, we can do the following. Normal summon rabbit. Our extra deck should go here. Banish rabbit. Even if they have ash, we have cold buy. Then we can get 2 Andals. And we directly link these 2 Andals into a Test Panther. With Test Panther's effect, we get Gladiator Beast comeback to the hand. We activate comeback to get our Andal back. Use the effect of Test Panther to return Andal. And at this point, we cannot go to the big fusions. The best thing that we can do is go for Seamorg. And therefore, I'll go for Equest. His effect will activate, which allows us to return comeback to the hand. And then I'll link these 2 for Seamorg. Set these 2 cards, and at the end of the turn, either summon Apex Avian from the hand or the barrier statue. Let's try another hand. Game 2. We've opened a lot of evenly matched. In real life, I don't open them that much. Okay, well, this is a pretty good hand. And Proving Ground and Unexpected Die are also nice because they're usually ash bait. So we'll start with Unexpected Die, get Andal to the field. Then we can do a few things. Let's see. Let's try going for Gladiator Beast, Gladiator Proving Ground. We'll get. We can get Andal or a Torix. For this time, I'll go for Andal. We're still having normal summoned. I'll link Andal for a Link Spider. Activate the effect of Link Spider. Special summon the Andal. Link these 2 into a Test Panther. Activate the effect of Test Panther. We already have comeback. We have Darius in hand. We can get us, let's see what's the best thing to do. We can, yeah, let's get another comeback. I'll activate comeback, get Andal back, activate the effect of Test Panther, send Andal back to the deck, get Augustus. With the effect of Augustus, we special summon Darius. The effect of Darius activates, which revives Andal. What we can do now is tag these 3 out for Andabata, and then use the effect of Andabata to special summon Gazarus. We need those 2 only because they're level 5 or higher, so that we can go into Tamer Editor. At this point, we special summon Tamer Editor, activate his effect to special summon Domotanus. this is not very ideal because we don't have monsters in our graveyard, but because we want to abuse Tamer Editor, what we can do is link these two for Crush Sheep. Now we have Beast and Sea Serpent. Activate comeback, bring Tamer Editor back. In the ideal situation, you would have a Winged Beast in the graveyard, like Bestiary or Request to special summon back. Activate the effect of Tamer Editor, and now you can either go for another Domatenus or Heraklinos, but seeing we only have one card in hand, I don't find Heraklinos that attractive, so I'd rather have a second Domatenus and set the Domatenus back. Set the trap. Okay, let's try another hand. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Well, I'll start by activating Rejection. We don't have a lot of options except Fusion Deployment. We activate Fusion Deployment, reveal Gladiator Beast, Andal, special summon Augustus. Now the effect of Rejection triggers because a Gladiator Beast monster was special summoned from deck, and then we can special summon another Gladiator Beast from another type. And the best targets in our situation are Vespasius or Noxious. Where are you? Or Noxious. It doesn't matter where what we choose. I'll get Vespasius, and then we can tag them out to get Tamer Editor. We have 3 cards in hand. We can either go for Domitianus or Heraklinos. I prefer Domitianus because he has a higher attack and negates monster effects, which are, in my opinion, more risky than spell traps. And for the rest, we can wait. And the next turn, we can, for example, link these two for Test Panther, and then use comeback to get Tamer Editor back, and go on from there. Let's try another test hand. Okay, that's decent. Start with Unexpected Die. Go for Link Spider. Oh, that's the wrong pile. Special summon Andal with effect of Link Spider. Link these two away. Get Test Panther. We already have comeback in hand, so I'd rather get something which I can special summon with Augustus. My objective is to get Augustus here, so therefore I'll choose Noxious. That's not shuffled very well. Where is Noxious? Here. I'll get Noxious to my hand, activate comeback, get Andal back, activate the effect of Panther, send him back, and now we want to see Augustus. When he's special summoned, we special summon Noxious. The effect Noxious triggers, which allows us to dump a GB monster to the grave, and I usually go for Bestiary. Seeing now we have 2 level 5 or higher GBs, we can tag them out, contact fuse into Tamer Editor. With Tamer Editor we get Domitanus, and then from there we can't do anything else. That's it for this turn. Let's say we have such a hand. This is the ideal hand that we want to have. Either comeback or legacy succession. It doesn't. Let's go for legacy succession. This is one of the most ideal hands that you can have. And then we'll start with unexpected die. We'll get Andal to the field. Go to the grave. Normal summon rabbit, activates her effect. Get 2 more Andals. Link these 2 Andals for a Test Panther. With the effect of Test Panther, we can either get a comeback or another monster. We'll go for another monster, which will be Augustus. We get him to our hand. Effect of Panther, return Andal back, get Augustus. When he's special summoned, he special summons Augustus, and then the effect of this Augustus triggers to special summon Noxious. The effect of Noxious triggers to ditch a monster to the graveyard, which will be Bestiary. After that, we'll contact fuse these 2 for Tamer Editor. We'll act as special summon Domitanus with the effect of Tamer Editor. After that, we will link these 2 for Crush Sheep. Then we'll use comeback to bring Tamer Editor back. The effect of Crush Sheep triggers, which will get us Bestiary back. And then we can link these 2 away for Seamog Bird of Sovereignty. We still haven't activated the effect of Tamer Editor. We can use this effect to get either Domitanus or Heraklinos, depending on whether we want to use the legacy card or not. Let's not use it, special summon him. At the end phase, we can get either Barrier Statue, or we can get Apex Avian. If we get Apex Avian, then the best thing that we can do, we can negate the first monster effect with Apex Avian, which will go back to our hand, and this will mean that we can negate 2 spell trap cards. This is an ideal field. Let's try another ideal hand. All these test hands I've been going first, so I'll just get a random card as the 5th. Okay. What I will do here is I'll activate rejection first. I'll activate Proving Ground to get a GB. It doesn't matter which one actually. Let us get Equest. We normal summon it. We special summon Test Tiger. We activate Test Tiger's effect to return Equest back. And then we special summon Augustus. Okay guys, it's important to do some plays with chain links to get past the effect of rejection, which is that you cannot special summon another Gladiator Beast from your deck besides the types that you have on the field. Therefore, Augustus Chainlink 1, Rejection Chainlink 2, which allows us to special summon Noxious if we had him in the deck, but we're going for Vespasius. And then we go back to Chainlink 1, we special summon Noxious, we use this effect, send Bestiari to the grave. From this point, we're going to Contact Fuse Noxious and Vespasius for our boss monster, who is Tamer Hereditary. We use this effect to get Domitianus to the field. From this point, we link these two into a Test Panther. Test Panther activates his effect, which gets us Comeback to the hand. We activate Comeback. We say Tamer Editor, Comeback. At this point, let's see what we can do. We have activate the effect of Tamer Editor. Get Heraklinos. We can still activate the effect of Test Panther. What can we do? Let's see. Let's activate the effect of Test Panther on Heraklinos. Yeah, I don't know if this is the best stuff. I'm just trying to show you how you can extend. Let's get Equest. With Equest, we'll get back our Comeback, and then we can go into a link 4 or a link 3. We either can go for Seamorg or we can go for Unchained Abomination. Let's go for Seamorg because we have Comeback in hand, and we want to use Tamer Editor. Let's ditch these 3 to the grave. Get Seamorg, activate Comeback, get back Tamer Editor, activate his effect to get back Heraklinos. Then at the end of the turn, at this point I'd go for Barrier Statue. I think we have Spell Negate, we have Monster Negate, that's pretty okay, and we have only, you can especially summon except Wind Monsters, and we have Ash Blossom in hand just in case. These are a few cards that you can try, you can take in. For example, Gladiator Beast Esidari. He's a fusion monster, level 5. He's basically a normal monster, no effects. requires 2 Gladiator Beast cards. And the nice thing about him is that he can get rid of the dead level 4 or lower Gladiator Beast monsters that you have on the field. Let's say you have Vespasius and 2 other Gladiator Beast monsters level 4 or lower. You can go into Tamer Editor, but if you get rid of these 2 level 4 or lower GBs and summon this one, then you can at that time. But I don't find the space in my extra deck to use him. Gladiator Beast United. This is actually a pretty good card, but I don't quite use it a lot. Even when I main it, it doesn't come up that much as I expected. Basically, it's a quick spell, and it says that during the battle phase you can shuffle into the deck from your hand, grave, or field fusion materials for a Gladiator Beast fusion, and special summon that fusion, which is pretty neat. It can recycle Gladiator Beast cards in the graveyard. With link summoning, the grave can get pretty big. The only downside is that in the battle phase that you activate this card, you cannot attack with other monsters than Gladiator Beast. So if, for example, you have Test Panther and other Gladiator Beast monsters, you attack with Test Panther, you can no longer use Gladiator Beast United. Another card is the classic Gladiator Beast War Chariot. I would play this card at 3 in the older format, which was more control oriented, but seeing that trap cards are usually very slow at this format, I don't play it. Furthermore, Gladiator Beast Domitanus gives you basically the effect of War Chariot. The nice thing about War Chariot is that you can recycle it with Equest. The same thing with Gladiator Beast Charge. It can destroy face-up cards up to the number of Gladiator Beast cards, monsters you control. It's okay, and you can recycle it with Equest. The other card is Crackdown. I've never tried it, but it's the same idea as Mind Control. You steal an opponent's monster and then you basically link it away. But seeing that it is a trap card, it's a bit slow. Moon Mirror Shield is actually a pretty nice card. I've tried it a few times and it worked pretty well. One problem that Gladiator Beasts have when they don't fill the field with fusion monsters is that their attacks are low and they cannot out big boss monsters. But with Moon Shield, your monster will always have 100 attack, 100 points of attack more than your opponent's monster, which is attacking, or the monster you're attacking, which is pretty helpful. And that means that you can use the effect of the Gladiator Beast at the end of the battle phase. And this card can be must be placed on the top of deck or bottom of your deck. The other card is part of Avarice, and that's actually for the same reason as United, as your graveyard will get populated with fusion monsters, Andals, or link monsters, and it's pretty neat to be able to recycle them and then get 2 cards. The last 2 cards are the Instant Fusion and 1000 Eyes Restrict Package. Basically, Instant Fusion will give you 1000 Eyes. You will get 1000 Eyes, steal your opponent's monster, put it here, and then link the 1000 Eyes with another GB monster into a Test Panther. And that way you got a free monster, you stole your opponent's monster, and then the Test Panther. Well, those are for the tech cards that I have in mind. Well, that's it guys for today. Thanks for watching. please leave your feedback in the comments. Any suggestions, any ideas are appreciated. Thank you very much.